Hi, this is Guy with the Vecino's Coffee Guy. Welcome to our coffee channel on YouTube. If you like this, hit the thumbs up and then subscribe, and you'll get a new video approximately every week. And we are going to start a new series in coffee, what I'm going to call basically trends in coffee since I have been involved, which is 20 some years. So you're going to see a lot of change as we go through this series. We're going to see changes with coffee. We're going to see changes with equipment. We're going to see changes in how it is measured and pulled. So we're going to have an interesting conversation, and you can ask questions at the bottom and we'll seek to answer those questions. Okay, the first one here that we're working on today is the trends that I have observed in grinders. When I first started in the business, it was a grinder similar to this, and I had to actually pull this out of the garage and brush the dust off because this is an old style grinder. It's not that I don't see anybody ever using it, but you know when you go in a shop that has this, it's probably back into second wave coffee. And the reason being is because the freshness of the coffee is really a part of third wave. Third wave is understanding the science behind what you're doing. And it has to make scientific sense. For instance, when coffee is ground, it is fresh only for a very brief time. And espresso even more so because it's ground very fine. So it's going to evaporate, the oils in the coffee will evaporate, and so we're going to see that coffee is going to go stale very fast as it's ground in this. Now, this is the old style grinder. You don't see a lot of these, but once in a while you'll see a shop with one of these. As a matter of fact, this is so old. When I went, probably 6 years ago to this shop, we got a grind on demand like these. Not either one of these brands, because everybody's making grind on demand. So when you grind it, it's going to be fresh right then and there into your portafilter. You tamp and then pull the shot. This, on the other hand, stores coffee in what is called the doser. This is the hopper, the grinder, the doser, the tamper, the dose lever, the switch. And you turn the switch on until this is full of coffee. That's how these were designed. So this is going to have coffee that's going to be hours or days old, because if you do it at the end of the night and you close shop and you open the next day, you've got stale coffee to start with. And so that got really, we got real critical of that. So what began to happen is every time you saw one of these was somebody that was third wave, when it was breaking into grind on demand, they were taking their portafilters out and they were dosing them, bam, 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 as they were grinding the coffee. The grinder was on and they were pulling it so that there would be no coffee left in the doser. And this became to be the third wave. Anytime you saw somebody turn on the grinder and pull the doser 30 times, you knew that they were striving to have fresh roasted coffee. But as an equipment repair person, this is not designed to pull 30 times for every double shot. You can imagine if you're pulling 100 shots a day, it's going to be pulled 100 times 30 is really going to wear the doser out. And so basically we got rid of the doser and put chutes on them and caught the coffee where this grinds the exact amount into the portafilter in 3 to 4 seconds, and that's fresh coffee. Now I level this out, and I've got just the right amount, and I tamp and I pull my shot. So I've got fresh roasted, fresh ground, and now fresh brewed coffee. which gives us the optimum flavor in our coffee. So that's what we're seeking after now. So today, every grinding company, I don't even know, this is a La San Marco. I never liked that brand of grinder ever, but I inherited it, so I pulled it out of my garage and got the dust off. But this and this grinds just right before it doses, and it's fresh. Fresh roasted, fresh ground, and fresh brewed, providing the coffee you put in is freshly roasted. So away with this grinder and onto the new grind on demand. Now they still make grinders like this, and actually when you pull the lever and the doser fills up in sections, and the sections, when pulled, scrape the coffee over a hole which falls into the portafilter basket. So by pulling it, they're rotating the doser, and the doser is scraping the coffee over the hole which falls through the hole into your portafilter. So that's the way these were designed. They were designed actually to be full and pull it twice, and then it's the exact amount. However, they have to be full to get the exact amount. So coffee had to sit in there for a long period of time. And back in the second wave of coffee, nobody really thought about freshness back then. It's just pull it twice, and it's going to give you the exact amount, tamp it, and put it. And I go to Italy, and they're still doing the traditional, thing, and they'll pull it twice, and they tamp so light, and they use this for the tamper. They'll do this, and they won't level or anything. They'll tamp like that and put it in and pull the shot. And it's not that you can't get a good shot, but you're not striving to get the best out of the coffee. And so this is our doser grinder, which we hope to bury and say goodbye to in the coffee industry, in my thinking. Now, I am prejudiced. I like to grind on demand. And some people like to do the wrist action 30 times, 100 times a day, 30 times, and you want carpal tunnel, go for it. Have it. So that's my prejudice coming out to you. Then there are the grind on demand with conical burrs. The main difference between this flat burr grinder and the conical burr grinder are that the RPMs. The conical burr turns slower at 300 RPMs, where this turns at 1,300 RPMs. And the reason people put out the extra money for conical burrs is that it doesn't heat up the coffee with friction. It gives you the same amount of coffee in 3 to 4 seconds, both of them, but this one is going to be, the coffee is going to be warm to the touch because of friction. So the conical burr is the preference. It's my favorite grinder. This is my more budget grind on demand machine. It's quality espresso made by Canal, and it's 1,300 RPMs. But it puts out, in the same amount of time, your 18 to 20 grams. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned next week. We're going to talk about coffee, and then we're going to talk about scales. And we're going to talk about some other things we've seen in the trends in coffee in the last 20 years. Until then, stay tuned, and we'll see you on the next show.